jersey ceremony will be tonight. Again, congratulations to all of you who are on the varsity, made the varsity team, varsity roster. With that said, I was debating on whether to go first, but I'll go first. Carson, do you want to come on up here? A little bit about Carson. The one thing that I can tell you that I really appreciate is I believe in Carson. I really believe in him. When he tells me something, I believe it, and he doesn't exaggerate. He's straightforward and he's truthful, you know. And I've always said if you can't tell the truth about it, then you probably shouldn't do it. And you know, I can say that, you know, whatever there's nothing that I've ever questioned about. I believe that whenever he does something, he really does do his best at it. He does try very hard at it, and he is very critical of himself. So that is one thing that, you know, I always observe. I think you talked about downloading the games immediately. I know there's times when he's watching that game and he's analyzing it. And ever since he was really little, I mean, like flag football, when we were playing flag football, I ran into one of his old coaches a couple weeks ago, and he still raves about how Karsten was so much ahead of the other kids because he understood the game. He analyzed it, and he understood the game. I think that's one of his biggest strengths, is he understands the game. Just push that forward and always giving 100% effort. Really, it's a lifelong thing. You understand it, you analyze it, and you're giving forth 100% effort. For me, it's kind of it's Karsten's senior year, so of course, you know, it's the last time he's going to be going through high school soccer. However, one thing I can say, and I'll say to you, Karsten, is that with everything that ends, we were big into baseball. He was actually a very good baseball player, and I coached baseball, and that was our life for what, 5-6 years. We were really into that. And then when that ended, it was like, well, geez, now what? Well, he then just fell in love with soccer. So every time when something ends, something else begins. So yes, it is going to be senior year, but there is going to be, you know, additional more great things, fun things, good opportunities. Just always approach it with a good attitude. So yeah. The biggest thing, though, Karsten, is I want to tell you is I really look forward to watching you play this season, and I hope you're always going 100%. And I love you, and we're just jersey representing your school well. Thank you. Bruce.
First off, let me say, I'm in these jersey ceremonies. Me not being a Lures guy or anything like that, I didn't graduate from here. I had the honor of graduating from Harding High School, powerhouse today in the NHSAA. But Lures won me over, and it's things like this, these jersey ceremonies, that type of thing. I mean, they're important things, and I'm a big fan. So I mean, again, you know, I married the Lures family. They won me over. I'm a big fan. For Greg. You know, Gray's one of 4 kids that we've got. You know, I mean, you know, if you speak to his siblings, they would probably say that means he's had a pretty easy road. You know, they kind of cut the path for him, and he just kind of rode it out in their wake. But I mean, Gray, knowing the other his 3 siblings, would probably argue that he's done well in spite of them. You know, so for him, talking about him's easy. I got some bullet points here because I'm a bullet point guy, but talking about him's easy. Whittling it down and trying to streamline it to keep it short, that's the difficult part for me, but I'm going to give it a shot here. So, you know, Braylon, since I've watched him grow from, you know, a child into the young man he is today, one of the things I've always been fascinated with is his work ethic. A lot of that, I'd like to say he picked it up from me, but he picked it up from the sports he's been in. I mean, he really had. You know, I've been proud of the things he's achieved in sports. I've been proud of the awards he's been given in sports and the recognitions and that type of thing. But you know, the sports are just a piece of what really makes him him special and what makes all you guys whatever you're gonna be. I mean, if you do the math on it, really, I mean, you guys are in sports now. I mean, 7.5, what is it, 7.5% of athletes actually go on to play college or something like that. So it isn't all about the sports. It's about what it does for you and what it, if you're some of your parts, sports is part of you, and what you can gain from it, it is really a powerful thing. So with Gray, the thing that most fascinates me about him is what I'm proud of is what other people think of him. And I am one of those fans of it. It isn't that important, what other people think of you, but I think it's important what the right people think of you. And by the right people, I would say, is it important what Grace Priest thinks of him? I think that's very important what Grace Priest thinks of you. It is important what Grace teachers think of him. I think it's very important what Grace teachers think of him. And just like coaches, I think it's very important what a coach thinks of him. And throughout his, like I said, his athletic life, coaches throughout the world, they've told me that. I can see the recognitions they put on it. But I don't think it was because he was a great player, because I've seen him play some of these sports and he's not that good. But his work ethic and his attitude, and it's the other things that he brings to the table. And I always embellish when I tell this story, but I remember the story of him being in a locker room and the coach talking about, hey, you guys are all JV and that type of thing. And the varsity coaches are talking, but they're talking about one player in particular, and it's Braylon. They're talking about Braylon. It's not because he's the best player, because you're all better than him. It's just his work ethic. He works harder. Throw a water bottle on the floor, he'll get on the ground and grab it. He's looking for the rebound. He'll get it. So it's just that kind of work ethic he brings to the table. He's been team captains on some of the teams he's been on before. And what I would say is, you juniors, you seniors, whoever's going to be a team captain, being a team captain is something special. But to me, being a team captain and to me, it's important what you bring to the field as a team captain, but it's more important what you leave on the field. To me, a team captain is it's important. Hey, it's not one of those, hey, I just scored a goal. Did you see that? It's kind of like, hey, Jacob, man, that was a great diagonal run. Appreciate you pulling that defender, creating a little bit of space, opening it up for me. That goal, was due in part to you. So thank you. It's a team effort. It's not a single thing, but it's Gray's work ethic. I admire that, and I'm proud of him for that. He's accomplished much, and again, you talk about the right people, and wherever life takes him, I can assure him and all of you that you're going to be somebody's right person. You'll be a parent, you might be a coach, you might be a boss, you're going to be a leader of some sort to somebody. So again, everything you do now is important. Gray, like I said, it's been exciting watching you come up to this point, and what you do from here. I'm looking forward to it. So one of the proudest things I can say is that I'm your dad, and I'm proud when I tell people that, and I love you, and good luck.
Will knows I like to talk, so he gets a little worried about things like this, so I'll try to keep it short so there's quite a few people to go. I guess one of the things for me this year is obviously Will being a senior is important for me, but it's also, I've been coaching soccer for 21 years, of which all of his career and my older ones, so this will be the end of coaching my boys probably for me. So it's been a long time coaching, and it's been fun since he was 2 or 3 coaching him, really all his teams, and his older brother Tyler as well. So it's a big change and transition for me, but it's been a blast coaching him that whole time. It's not easy, and James will tell you, Carson will probably tell you the same thing, having your dad be a coach on a team. I know I've coached pretty much him in soccer, basketball, and football, everything he's done, and it's not always easy. It's hard not to take things personal from your dad when you're in the field. He's done pretty well with that. We've had a few spats here and there where it's harder for me, so I try to encourage Alex to talk to him during the games, and he tries to let me talk to Jacob. We try to make sure we're not making things personal, but it's difficult, and he does. As he's gotten older, I think he understands it's not personal when I'm getting on him during the games, and again, I try to leave him go. The other thing I've learned as a coach is, and we were talking about this again with the seniors tonight, was you really don't have to point out the mistakes to your kids. They know. As soon as they make a mistake, they know. You don't need to re-emphasize it and bring it up again. So I've tried to be better at that. But obviously, as a dad and his coach, I have a bigger role as his father, guiding him through his life. He's 18, he'll be 19 this year, so he's obviously a little older than most of you, but my job is to get him into heaven, get his brother into heaven, get his mom into heaven, and I think I've done a lot of work with that. Will's very strong in his faith. I don't need to tell him to get to church. I don't need to tell him to get to confession if he has to go to confession. Both my boys have been that way. My older son has done very well at Purdue as well, going to church and staying with his faith. And I think he's one of the things I most admire about him is his strength and his faith. And I think that will carry you through most anything in the rest of your life, a sport, work, whatever it is. I would say I have a lot of pride when I talk about Will. I love talking about, besides his sports, his grades. I've been very spoiled with Will and his brother, but with Will, I don't have to sit and tell him to get on his homework. I don't have to tell him to get on his studies. He does all that on his own. He does a lot of that without me having to go on. We're very blessed that way. I know some of you parents probably have to be on your kids a lot to get their studies done, and I do not. So we've been very blessed with that. But I think I said last year, his older brother is very smart, but it kind of comes easy to him. William has to kind of work twice as hard to have the same grades as like his brother. But so he works harder, spends a lot more time studying than Will or Tyler ever did. So I take a lot of pride with what he's done at school, and it has a lot to do with the school as well. He's done a very good job, so I'm very proud of him for that. He's done a lot of good things with family that I'm very proud of as well. He's very close to his grandparents, hanging out, talking with them. That's not always the most fun thing probably all you guys do is hang out and talk, but we're blessed to have our grandparents around and be able to talk to them, because some of you probably don't. And I know I miss mine every day, but you guys have the opportunity, and he does, to take that to still be a part of their lives, and that's important. But family is very important to him. That's another thing I admire about him. He really, with the season so far, and Will was named a captain along with Karsten, which we invest in Dakota. They have done some good things. We're still learning. We're still working our way through some things and what we expect. But Will's done a very good job listening to some of the suggestions and things I've had. And the other day, I get a little frustrated with all of them. They know that with different things. I got frustrated with him. It's kind of like when you're looking for your kid to do something wrong, and I wasn't trying to catch him do something right. So we're in a drill. He's not ever standing on the side. I'm like, what is he doing? And I'm looking around, and I turn around, and these guys were all standing, and he was down in the JV field encouraging some of the JV guys. He was down there saying, hey, this is what you're doing. He talked to some of those guys. That's exactly what we're talking about, like Ray's guys talking about. Taking the opportunity to make, and if you guys get a chance to watch the Whitey Cup Solids video that was sent out, you'll see it's about making the third, for our case, the 40th guy just as important as the first guy, because all of them have to feel they're part of the team. That's why we went away from the things like freshmen do all the cleanup. Now we're all going to do it together. That was a senior's choice this year, that we just do all that together. But William's integrity is another thing, and William, integrity is doing things right when nobody's watching, right? So if you don't have somebody sitting there watching you, are you doing the right things? And I believe that he does, just like James from Carson. I believe that he's telling me what he's doing when he's doing it, and that's another thing I really respect about him. So, again, I think as his sports go, it'll be sad to see some of this end. I know we've talked about him trying to play next level. We don't know. We'll see if that actually happens. But sports have been fun for him. He did swim last year, something I knew nothing about, but very proud of. At the end of the year, he got most improved on the swim team this last year. He never swam a season in his life and went out and actually improved his time by leaps and bounds. So again, very proud of him for that. I tell him I love him every day, so that's not a surprise. So I can sit here and tell you all day. So he knows I love him. I do tell you every day, right? We tell each other every day that I love him, and he knows that. That's not a big surprise. We were talking right along with what Trey said. I something for our captains and what we want out of this team. I just had a quote for leadership that you don't inspire teammates by showing them how great you are. You inspire teammates by making sure they know how great they are. And that's what our theme is, that's Floatamo, that's what we're going with this year, is each of you guys picking each other up and making each other great. The one extra pass and one extra thing to make that game great. I think Will's helping push that message. And I'm looking forward to the season, and I'm looking forward to his senior season. I'm a little sad to see it go to finish up, and I'll miss, maybe I'll not be too old to coach his kids someday maybe, but I'll miss coaching, that's for sure. I might make it.
No hurry, Will, no hurry.
With that, here's your jersey.
You'd rather wait? Yeah. Okay, Paul?
When I started thinking about, what I can say about Jack, in my mind, they sort of replayed over the last couple of years most of our one-on-one discussion interactions, but I realized those were mostly yelling, so I thought I might come up with no, we're very proud of Jack. His mom and I are both very proud of him. We definitely see him, becoming a man. One of the things that he started to say, which we appreciate very much so, is sometimes there's negotiation, what we're going to do, how things are going to be done, and he started to say, well, I'll do whatever's best for the family, which is what we really appreciate that. I think that's a sign that he's really growing up and learning to interact with others and appreciating his family. That being said, I think that's a skill where I work. One of the things we talk about is, everyone you work with has weaknesses and strengths. And so it's important to realize both of those things. You want to appreciate each other's strengths. You also want to realize what each other's weaknesses are, help each other with those weaknesses, or help overcome those weaknesses in other ways. And as a team, as a family, you can do both of those. You can help each other individually, or you can work as a team to overcome those weaknesses. So hopefully as Jack continues to grow, as you grow together as a team, when he's an adult, has his own family and has his own place of work, he'll continue to be stronger and stronger a part of the team. So Jack, I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know we're looking forward to this season, and I want you to play hard, and I want you guys to win a lot of games.
Hello everyone, I am representing the Varsity family parents tonight and present this jersey to John, which I'm really thrilled to be here. But I can't help but have a mother senior moment, not because I'm a senior, but because my son is. And I just, as I stand here, I cannot fathom that he's going to be graduating from high school, so I apologize. Just take a minute to collect myself. So I remember, just like it was yesterday, when John came home, he was in middle school, and he said to me, Mom, I really want to go play soccer. And my Polish heart grew like 5 sizes. Because after all these years he's spent playing baseball and me faithfully sitting on bleachers and going, yay! I felt like this is gonna be great. I'm actually going to be an active peanut gallery. It's gonna be awesome. But the realist in me that sometimes my children struggle with was like, well, John, you are going to have heck of a lot of work ahead of you, because the last time you played, you were like 7 years old. And so there's a lot of work, makeup work to do. And so something that I'm really proud for John is that he set his mind on playing soccer, and he played first elementary, middle school, and he decided to play in high school, and he worked hard at it, and he has excelled. He has earned Most Improved Player Award 2 years in a row. He this summer went to an IU soccer camp and has gotten a really great feedback from the coach, commenting on his work ethic and teamwork and maturity and awareness, and obviously all those things just made me so very happy to see him do something that he loves to do. I think to me that's ultimate definition of contentment in life is, are you able to do what you love? And I know that he would absolutely love to play at next level, and I really hope that happens for him. So I'm not a Spider-Man lover or anything, but something that my kids heard over the years and are sick of in our daily conversations is a quote. It's what Uncle Ben said to Peter Parker before he died, and it was, with great power comes great responsibility. This jersey, to me, represents great power. Great power and great privilege. And I really hope, and my hope is for you, John, that when you put it on, that you are able to feel and represent the servant leadership, represent all the values that this jersey really carries. Integrity, honesty, teamwork, but also for you personally, deep faith in your abilities and perseverance, and being able to believe in yourself. Just like I believe in you. And I hope you have a great season. And
I'm gonna do you 2 separate times, so I'll bring you up for sooner. Yeah.
Let's go, clowns. Huh? Yeah, there's not enough good stuff to say about that. Have to do the same speech twice. Sam and Nicholas Hall, similar, different, all of the above. Nicholas was the 2-year-old that wouldn't stop crawling on stoves, and Sam was the 2-year-old that you couldn't take in public without a spare shirt because he drooled constantly. That's a true story. His wedding wasn't. We still got pictures of you. I mean, it looks like, you're on full-on Coach Donald's sweat. Hopeful that you got over that, because allegedly that's a genetic problem. You guys, like everybody else in this room, are remarkably lucky people, remarkably accomplished people to be at this point in your lives. The one thing, that now as an adult, I think back to whatever I was doing when I was your age, and whether it was your grandmother or your grandfather, you don't realize it now at this point in your life just how much of an impact you can make on your parents, and you don't even really know it. They watch you do things, they see you do things, and they appreciate that, and it makes all of the nonsense that you people provide to our day-to-day lives, our time, our funds, our own free choices that we gave up a long time ago to bring you into this world, and it makes it all worth it. One of my few guilty pleasures is getting to go to you guys' soccer games whenever I can. That, again, these were the choices that your mother and I made when we decided we want to have a big family. It wasn't going to be about being able to just pick up sticks and take off and go do anything we wanted. That's not how it was going to work. And you guys make sacrifice in that sometimes I'm not there, your mom's not there, but we do everything we possibly can because this is why we did this. It's because we get to go watch you guys compete and compete fairly and compete as well as you possibly can. And I think, and this probably goes for any other parent in this room, you might not realize it, maybe you do, I hope, that when you guys are out there on the field, you're not just representing yourselves, you're not just representing your team, you're representing your families, you're representing your school, you're representing your coaches, and whether you know it or not, most of the people in the stands after a game, they know who you are, they know where you came from, and you need to keep in mind at all points, whether it's on the soccer field, in the classroom, walking around, that how you represent yourself is very, very important. Not just for the people who put you in a house and put magic groceries in the refrigerator, but for everybody who goes to bat for you, whether that's your coach, your principal, your priest, or your parent. And 95 times out of 100, you guys do a real nice job of that. The unfortunate reality is that 4 of the 5 bad times are generally in our house. The world thinks you people are incredible. It's like a damn circus in our house. So, that pleases me as well, because everybody else in the world seems to think you're incredible kids, and I, generally speaking, agree. So, that being said, I hope you guys have a good year. I hope you take away as much from the upperclassmen as you possibly can when you have them. They've got a lot to offer to you. You're going to be around for a few more years. You're going to be seniors one of these days, and assuming you want to keep up with soccer and you keep pushing, you're going to be one of these guys that's going to be called upon to be a leader of this team. And so take what you can from the old guys while you got them. They've got a lot to teach you. And with that, who's 11? You're 11. And you're 4. All right. Good luck this year, guys. Yeah. Not me.
Yeah, 2.
Hello everyone, my name is Graciela, I'm Antonio's mom. I'm really proud of him. I support him on everything he does because I know when he does something, he always tries his best. And I know how much he likes soccer. I know he's doing his best. And I know he's gonna do best this year, his senior year. He's a really good kid. He's really humble, he's really honest. He's been a really good example for his brothers. I'm really proud of him. Yeah, he's not only my son, but my best friend. I love him.
My name's Mark Coffey, this is my son Matthew, and thought we'd talk a little bit more and let you get to know Matthew a little bit. So, top 5 things, Matthew Coffey. Number 1. You have a twin sister? Yes. What's her name? Alex. So, Matthew has a twin sister, Alexandria. No, they're not identical. And yes, I've gotten that question numerous times over the years. The other thing you may not know, Carol and I, my wife, your mother, made a decision well before you two were born that we were not going to tell them who was born first. And if you have any twin friends, that's kind of a big deal because you're the oldest then, right? So don't ask. They don't know. We're not going to tell. Number 2, Matthew is a very gifted artist, and maybe you've seen some of his stuff, but it amazes me from the standpoint of I have no idea where you got that, number one. But the creativity and the artistic ability just really is something I admire in you, but even more so is your willingness and ability and patience to spend the number of hours to do some of the projects. I can think of 2 projects you've done recently that I bet you he has close to 100 hours in each one of them. The one I think is still running. So I mean, literally just completed it. What's your favorite piece?
Piece? I don't know. I like detail, so one of the things I like doing scratch art, so you get a lot of detail in it.
From a whimsical and fun perspective, for me, it's we spent quite a bit of time at the beach in the edition, and I think of a couple pieces that Matthew did while we were just sitting on the beach, and one of them was Princess Leia head out of the sand, you know, with the headphones or earmuffs. The other one was Batman, I think down to his down to the shoulders, had the arms and everything too. But the last piece we just did with the bark on the trees and all that, the oil painting that you did, is probably my favorite piece. Number 3. Matthew likes to binge watch TV shows. He has, and this is just a short list, watched all the X-Files episodes in order. Now think about that, it's 10 seasons. I don't know how many per season, but 45 minutes per episode, that's a lot of television. But it's interesting for me to go back and watch some of those and see Jack Black before anybody knew who he was. Ryan Reynolds was on just the other day, and he was on for like 3 or 4 minutes because he gets killed. Right, yeah, exactly. But so X-Files, the Twilight Zone, The Office, I know there's numerous other ones, and I think you're right in the middle of Parks and Rec right now, so it's, yeah, fantastic, right? That's as much fun for me. Matthew is also just an absolutely voracious reader. I'll never forget the summer between 8th and 9th grade. He was going through a book a week, and I'm just trying to throw titles at him. So I threw all the books that I was supposed to read in high school, and then we went on to all of the movies that I've seen that I think were based on a book, and he's just plowing through them, and it was interesting because then we got to the point where he'd read the book, and then he'd want to see the movie, and I was going to ask you, what's the last book you read that then we watched the movie?
The Last Castle, but that was for summer.
Right, so the summer reading project, and so for any of you guys that are thinking, well, I'll just go watch the movie, Matthew.
It's nothing.
Yes. So anyway, it's one of those things where it really was fun for me to see some of these movies that I had grown to love and see them kind of from a different perspective. But his love for movies, which is number 5, he's a big movie fan. His love for movies actually got me to see some movies, some classic movies that I'd never seen before. So let's just go through some of, I'm going to ask you what's your favorite Hitchcock one?
Strangers on a Train.
Right. I had not seen that, but I saw it for the first time with you. Mine is Rear Window, which again, I had not seen that, saw it for the first time with you. Spencer Tracy Hepburn movie. Again, my favorite one of those 2 as well, and saw it for the first time with you. Humphrey Bogart. Okay, I don't remember that one, but I'm going to go with Dark Passage because it's 36 minutes. And again, I had not seen this until I went from Matthew. First 36 minutes of the movie, they don't show his face because he doesn't get his face until he has surgery. But anyway, Bogey McCall. No, you're thinking it's, anyway, mine's Key Largo.
Oh,
Right. So, the last one that I have for you is, who's Ben Mankiewicz?
The TV shows for CCM.
Right, so, right, I think you might want to think of a career to follow in his footsteps and introduce classic movies, because I can't imagine your age that even have seen a lot of those movies. But anyway, I wanted to do it absolutely not related to soccer at all. Let you get to know Matthew a little bit. I cannot wait to see you guys play on Saturday. This has been a fun journey from the last game last season to where you are today. The potential for this team, the expectations too, are through the roof. And I'm looking forward to you guys to realize it. Good luck.
I'm really not a good speaker, but I think I can say we love Jesus a lot, and I think he's a good kid. We have a lot of friends, you guys, and we love him. That's it.
Made myself so I told you I wasn't going to, but I did. All right, so first off, a couple of things that define Justin. First and foremost is his faith. Justin's not afraid to show it at any time. You could be out to dinner at a restaurant and he's the one who says, let's say grace. You don't have to ever beg him to go to church. Say his prayers at night. Good, perfect about that. Couldn't be more proud of you and show it. And you're not afraid of it. And that's a great thing. Keep it that way. Next is family. I know family's the top of your list. Whether it's hanging out with your cousins, which you do all the time. Aunts and uncles, which we have all over all the time, being that all of them live around us, which is great. Grandparents, I think that you put a lot of time and effort into making sure that you stay close to them all. And that's a great attribute that you have, okay? Soccer. Okay, so if you would ask me 10 years ago what Justin was going to do, it was going to be basketball. He grew up playing basketball. I think he started with what, 4? Probably 4, playing for Live. Coached him for 9 or 10 years, and it was his passion. And then soccer, well actually I shouldn't say that. I think at some point in time Justin understood that he wasn't going to slam dunk the ball. And he wasn't even going to come close to slam dunking the ball. So, he put a lot of energy in middle school in soccer. And I started to see a lot out of him. And as he got into Lures last year, I was really blown away because I didn't know a lot about soccer. You know that. And you actually taught me a lot of things just last year, but coming up through middle school also. And then this year, your work ethic that I saw really on the off season with Tom Schuler, you guys going to Woodside Middle School just about every day in spring and during summer when you didn't have games. You guys were always there working. It might have just been the two of you. Sometimes it was raining. And it just showed me that, wow, Justin loves soccer now. And it's great. I love to see that. Your mother loves to see that. And I know you're gonna go places with it to keep it up. Okay? Your work ethic outside of soccer. You've been working as let's call it a landscaper, right? You've had your own business for probably 3 or 4 years now, right? So Justin, he cuts lawns in the neighborhood, and sometimes he has 5 lawns a week that he does. And this year we got, what, 3, maybe 4 if you're possibly. But he's always busy. He's always busy cutting lawns. Yesterday he cut a lawn, today he cut a lawn before practice. Tomorrow he's gonna cut a lawn. And I mean, it takes, when it's hot, it takes a toll on you, but you're always at it. And sometimes you complain a little bit, I know, but you always get it done. You could probably pay for your tuition now by yourself. Okay. Schoolwork. Never have to worry about Justin in his schoolwork. He does a great job. You know, I know he comes home, he gets it done, does his study in, and I never have to worry about your grades. I don't, and that's huge. That's huge. That takes a lot off your mother and my plate. You and your sister both are the same way. You guys are always, and for whatever reason, I've never had to push it. You just do it, and that's awesome. Keep it up. You know, one of the biggest things too that I think is trustworthiness and honesty. Whether you're leaving the house and going somewhere, I know where you're going. I know you're not messing around or doing the wrong things. You got a great group of friends that you hang with, and that's awesome. And I know you're telling us the truth. I don't have to ever challenge that with you. That's awesome. You know, and then you know, last but not least is just, you know, I go back to kind of, you know, your faith and the things you do and the way you hold yourself and put yourself in front of people. You know, your mother wanted me to tell you, or wanted to say that she loves your gentleness and your kindness, and that's huge. It's true. I know. It's, you know, guys, you know, they don't want to hear that, right? But you are. You know, I know you care about things that are happening to everybody, and that's huge, and we appreciate it. So without any further ado, I won't go any farther, but we're very proud of you. I know you have worked hard to earn this. I know you're going to have a great season, and we love it.
I don't have any notes, so I'll be short this week. Last year, those of you that were here, I think I talked a lot about Sam's natural abilities, how intelligent he is, how mechanically inclined he is, how he's good at just about everything he wants to do. And I told him that it's a blessing and a curse to have that talent. I hope that he always uses it as a blessing. He takes advantage of it and tries to excel at everything he tries to do, everything he wants to do. So last year I told you about that. This year I thought I'd do just a little bit about, a little bit of a lecture, I guess, about being a man. Say I'm 17 years old now, 17 and a half, soon to be 18, as many of you guys are starting to get older as well. Pretty soon, if the draft is still going on, you'd be making life and death decisions on the battlefield possibly. Hope to God we never get to that point. But it's an important time in your life that you are going to start making decisions, and I hope that you always make good decisions. I want to talk just briefly about being a man. Being a man is not being able to grow a beard, or being able to drive a car. On a soccer field, being a man is not just being able to run down and score a goal. Being a man is when you're scored upon, getting up, rallying the team, carrying on, and not folding. Being a man is not sleeping with a girl and creating a baby, but being a man is raising a child in the right way. There's a lot of things about being a man that I hope you guys learn along the way. I hope you learn soon, because you are all young men. You need to be making good decisions. I hope that I've raised Sam in good manners, that he can become a man, or is a man, on the soccer field, off the soccer field. Being a man is being respectful. When things go wrong, you don't point fingers. You look at yourself first. You find find out, ask yourself, what could I have done differently to make this situation better? Not just saying, well, so-and-so did this, because they're doing some. So I hope that all of you will do that, especially you, Sam. I can count on that. That's about all I was going to say, but when James gave us the word of the week, sacrifice, it brought a lot of things. Brought a lot of things home. Sam shows a lot of sacrifices here. You know, not. You've been there, sometimes begrudgingly. He's been there for us, and we really appreciate it. This is one more sacrifice we have to make very quickly here. Sam, wear this jersey, or your jersey, as a man. And we appreciate all you've done for us.
You cut it?
Okay. No. We're winging it.
There's probably not much that you guys don't know about Dakota already. He's one of the most social people that I know. He makes me proud every day. When he decided to be a goalkeeper, we had a coach come up to us and ask us, sorry, I just embarrassed you, ask us if he wanted to be a goalkeeper. He was all for it, me not so much, because it always seems like if something goes wrong, it's the goalkeeper's fault. So it was really hard for me, and a lot of times I would be on him about it. And he would always say, Mom, the ball has to get through 10 other people before it gets to me. So I started looking at it that way, and it made it a lot easier for me. So I always try to tell myself, it's not all on him. So I won't go into all my notes that I wrote for Chad, but I just want you to know that I'm very proud of you. And I love you very much. And I hope you have a great season.
Bye.
Just like my friend, we don't talk so much, man. Not even, not that good, but just want to say that we're proud of my son, and I have no words. So I love him, and here's the shirt from him.
I know you say you don't have a lot of words, but I really respect and I really admire both Jesus and Yvonne and what they represent and their attitudes on the field. It speaks a lot for you as parents too. I think we all feel that way, correct, Coach? Coach Donlin, yeah. So I really enjoy watching both of you two, especially. You're just always on it, just like Mr. Schenkel said. When something doesn't go your way, you don't hang your head. You're still on it. And that speaks a lot for you guys too. Appreciate that. Dom? Yes. Dom?
We can send that to John. We'll talk about it. Is that right? John will have something to say too. Dal joined us last year, right at the end of right at the beginning of the season, right after we got started, from Michigan, I believe, right? So, some of the things I know about Dal, and we learned fairly quickly, is he's a pretty funny guy, and definitely
He's the only
enjoys.
Burmese on the team. he told me.
Yeah, I think actually claims to be the only Burmese at Lourdes. I don't know if that's true, but he's claimed to that, and he's the only Burmese guy on the team. So, know that he enjoys making everybody else laugh. I think that's definitely an attribute that he has. One of the things I'll talk about different from last year was I think he kind of was tentatively involved last year, like he wasn't fully committed. This year, he has been early to every practice, showing up to all the things this summer, and has definitely recommitted himself, and that's showing in his play, and why he got a varsity jersey this year. And as a senior, another leader for us, and we appreciate the hard work that he's put in and coming out and being a leader for us. So,
Same thing Ken said. I've noticed a difference with him having a different attitude this year, much more focused. You can see that he wants to fit in. Last year he was just kind of on the edges, trying to get involved in some of the play with some of the guys, but came back with a new attitude and definitely ready to go. We appreciate it, that's for sure.
so maybe.
I'll make it quick. You're probably sick and tired of hearing me the last couple of weeks here. So, one thing I want to say about Jacob is he's pretty selfless around the house and stuff. If we ever ask him to do something, he never complains, just does it. His little cousins come over and they want to play Lego Star Wars or something like that. He's like, okay, goes down there, no problem, does it. So, I also want to say thank you to him for letting me coach. Every year I say, hey, is it all right if I be part of the team? Because I don't want to steal his experience. And he always says, no, I really want you to coach because I know how much you like it. So he's thinking of me, and not himself. So the other thing about his soccer, he constantly is working at getting better, dribbling around. He goes over here, he goes to Foster. I know he goes out with some of you guys. Working on shooting, dribbling. I walk through the house. I don't know how many times I've been nutmegged in the house, just walking through to go to the bathroom. I think his mom sometimes is ready to kill him. His balls bounce off of furniture, lamps, TVs, things like that. So, but he's getting better. It's pretty impressive to see where he's getting with it. And he's starting to use that effort into school, which is even better. So there's less talk about you need to do the work, and we mess around more with soccer and stuff like that. So just like everybody else, I'm pretty excited for this year. A lot of good things over the summer out of everybody. So good luck this year. I love you, and here's your jersey.
Am
I last?
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm gonna be long-winded.
Yeah. I didn't want to miss your duties back there.
Wow, junior year. A lot of great things were said. I think about Carter as I was preparing for this, and think of a virtue of Carter's that I really admire, and one of this is Iron Will. Those of you that have played soccer with him before have seen it. Sometimes he goes a little too far, but just when you disagree with the referee, that's all. I believe he's led the team in yellow cards the last 2 years. Is that correct?
No, not last year.
Not last year, okay. So,
we only had one.
But so one of the things that I thought about when I wanted to talk about Carter's Iron Will and think of it in a sports term was as a dad was one of my proudest moments of Carter in sports. And this is probably an obscure play that no one else will ever remember except me. Maybe a few kids will remember it. But I was a football guy, much like Ed. I knew nothing about soccer before this whole thing started. he comes home in preschool and 5 years old and says, I want to play soccer instead of football, and I'm going, what are you doing, soccer? Is that a sport? It's worked out okay for him since then. But I always wanted to play football, and he played football because he loved it until he got to tackle football. When the helmet came on and the shoulder pads came on, the game changed. Now, you'll never guess it by looking at me, but I was a linebacker and a fullback, and I really enjoyed the contact part of football. Strangely enough, my son did not. I remember his first scrimmage as a football player. He had probably the worst offensive line in the entire league, and Carter was a quarterback, which is where you want to play if you don't want to get hit, because that's where those guys play. Well, Carter got demolished that game. I think he came home with about 50 bruises and wasn't so sure about that. He stuck with it for 3 more years. But his last play in a football uniform was one of my favorites. It's late in the game, and we are losing big time. We have no business even. It was 30-0. It was just absolutely ridiculous. And Carter was splitting time with another kid at quarterback that year. And so we were going to call a trick play because we had like 2 seconds left and nothing to lose. So we decided to call a trick play. Well, Carter was supposed to be the quarterback, and he was we're going to put 2 quarterbacks on the field. And Carter and this kid worked it out, and Carter went out to wide receiver, and this kid played quarterback. Well, of all people he could throw the ball to, I got to tell you, Carter has great hands when it comes to football. He played like 7 defensive plays his last year in football when the other team was in 4th and long. And I think he had like 5 interceptions. But there was kids a third of his size would touch him, he'd fall over. So he looked like Neymar flopping in soccer when someone got close to him. So Carter's got the ball thrown to him, and not only is it a bad decision to throw the ball to Carter, because I know Carter's not going to advance the ball, but it's like a backward pass of 5 yards. So we've got like 4th and forever, and Carter gets the ball thrown to him. And as a dad, I'm thinking, why do we throw it to Carter? Of all people, why do you throw it to Carter? But Carter surprised me on that play, because what Carter did was something that Carter does a lot. He got determined. His iron will showed. And Carter scampered, I'm going to say, somewhere around 55 to 60 yards, breaking tackles. I think he was so slow at one point, jigging and jagging across the field, that the offensive line actually caught up and started blocking for him the second time. It was the longest play I've ever seen to go 55 yards, but maybe not the longest, but it took a long time to develop. But at the end of the day, what Carter ended up doing was scoring a touchdown. So I think we lost the game 30-6. So not a lot of people are going to remember that game. Not a lot of people are going to care about that game. I'm sure there's a bunch of kids that are going to Carroll High School, New England High School right now that don't think about that game. But as a dad, it was one of those moments where you found a desire to accomplish a goal, and you worked really hard. You overcame some fears, and you really performed at a high level. And it was exciting for me to see, because that was the first time I saw that come out in a situation. I knew you weren't comfortable, you weren't happy. On the soccer field, I've seen it come out a lot of times. You bring a passion, you bring a desire to win, and you often do that with a will to make the team better. And it's fun for me as a dad to watch, and I get real excited about it. But as the team, you guys have a lot of expectations on you this year, right? Coach, have you shared with them the preseason poll? Yeah, some of them Ken and I were talking. Yeah, so this team is ranked 17 in the preseason poll. We won 2 games last year, 3 games. You guys have no business being ranked 17th in the preseason poll. I'm just gonna be honest with you. But I think, like a lot of other fathers have said and pointed out, there's a lot of potential, and you guys have the ability to do some special things. You're going to have some adversity this season. I mean, we're the smallest school in the SAC. You're going to play some big, talented schools. You're going to play some tough games. You could end up 0-3. You could end up 3-0. I'm hoping for 3-0. I believe in that. But you guys have to come together. You guys have to believe in that as well. One of the things I'm excited about more than anything else is the senior captains, the senior leaders pick the motto. I've read the word many times. I've seen it in the Bible. I think about Paul writing, and I've never thought about the word and what it meant. It was just a word, and it was kind of an adjective. It's like, okay, it's something about the charisma of the Greek people. But it means a lot to me in a lot of different ways, because in my career, I've come up with a philosophy that I've used, and it kind of aligns with that. It's something I've tried to teach Carter. We've talked about it before, and it's called the REACH principle. It's respect, effort, accountability, collaboration, and honesty. And that's kind of what this word means. And if you do those things, you do those little things right, you take care of each other as a team, you will find success. You're not always going to be successful. You're going to have adversity, you're going to have setbacks, but there's an opportunity to be successful. There's an opportunity to do great things. You know, you should have some goals. All of you should have a goal at some point in your life, whether it was in 6th grade, 8th grade, or freshman year, to get one of these jerseys. And congratulations, you all accomplished that goal, which is a big goal. But you're able to accomplish a lot more. Cherish this, honor it, celebrate it, but look for that next thing, that next opportunity. Look for more. Continue to be strong. Work together as a group. Accomplish great things. You're not going to win every game, necessarily. You could. You can. You can compete in every game. You may win every game. But if you lose a game, it doesn't mean anything. Just win the last game you play is all I ask of you guys this year. Just win the last game you play. Carter, I'm proud of you. I love you. Have a great season.
Thank you all for coming to the marriage ceremony. I've taken a lot of great words away. I hope you all are too. Coaches, do you have anything else?
No, it's just things like this are meant to bind the team. That starts this week. That starts Saturday. Hopefully, everybody can make the team dinner Saturday to be as a group as well. To make as many of those. The time we share outside of practices and things and at school is when you guys need to be taking care of each other and building a team. So, yeah, I think good stuff, and this just starts what I think is some really good things out of this team.
I'd just like to thank everybody for coming and being honest. It's been share your feelings with the players. It means a lot to me to be able to see how you interact with some of the kids and realize that how great a group we have here. It takes it a little deeper and it takes it a little farther and means a lot more, and especially in my heart when I see you guys give what you have, what you just did with your son. So we can just carry it forward. I know we have a lot of pressure on us this year, but I don't think it's pressure. I think with the great group of kids that we have, they're going to achieve what we can achieve and be the best that they can be. We did come off of not a very good season last year, and the coaches and I decided not to mention that. We've been trying to move on. Sorry. You know, the word they choose for back in Jersey is really good. So onward and upward, and let's get the ball rolling here. I'm ready to go out and play right now.
Thanks guys for letting me coach. I've been kind of doing the conditioning stuff. I know it's not the most fun stuff in the world to do, but really you guys haven't complained at all, and you guys just going out there. Hopefully you're kind of feeling some of the benefits. I know that run today wasn't the most fun thing you ever did, but hopefully Saturday, at the end of the game, when you start pulling away, that's when it will help. So thanks for letting me be a part of it.
We need to pray. We need to close and pray. Normal prayer. We didn't close out practice.
Yeah.
As a group. Carson.
Are we saying next thing on that?
Yes. Group, pray.
Grace, Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.